Well, no, I get that, but with all those cars parked there.
Yeah, they're people from the garage, man. He's moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll move it. No worries.
Cheers.
No worries. Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet you any money you won't be standing where you're standing. It comes up that far to the bridge.
Is it?
Yeah.
What, the river?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've watched YouTube channel. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
No. Just come round when the river's higher.
Yeah.
And see if you say the same while you're.
Yeah, but I don't give my opinion on that really. I mean, it's there for people to comment on. That's why I do it.
You come in when it's not raining.
It's not my fault, is it?
Well, come right.
Well, I spoke to a guy
I challenge you to come and meet me when it's rained for 1 or 2 days here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But I spoke to a guy today, well he spoke to us, and he said that the river was the same depth today as it was when she went in there.
I go there every day. The day
well, it's
before
deeper.
it was a lot deeper.
Right. I don't know, I wasn't there. Right.
No, but you're spreading bullshit to people.
I'm not spreading it, am I? I take a video of the river, and that's all I do.
Yeah, but
people look at it.
Come back when it's rained for a couple of days. I bet you any money it's that far from the top of the bridge.
I came today during high tide at 8 o'clock to try and show people that it was deeper.
When it's rained for 2 days and you watch.
Well, I will if it rains. We've had no rain, have we? Welcome back to St Michael's, everybody. This was the controversial day that we saw Penny. And as you can see a minute ago, a few of the people are not happy with our presence at all. Anyway, this video and the actual purpose of the visit that day was to show you guys the river at high tide. I've had lots of questions, lots of requests to go to the river when the tide is high, right? Now, this is about 9 o'clock at the moment, and the high tide is due about 10 o'clock. 9:40, 10 o'clock, okay? I'm going to show you guys the tide on the scale in a second. But basically, the plan today was to show everybody the difference in the river from the weir down to where she was found, if there's any difference at all, and to show you. There's lots and lots and lots of other stuff in this video, which I'm going to briefly let you know what you're in for in a second. Just so you don't get bored and click off, because there are some very, very important key points later in the video which I don't want nobody to miss. So stay tuned. Rightio, so here we have the high tide scale. As you can see on the left hand side, the little blue marker, Sunday, that's where we are at the moment. Actually slightly to the left, there we go. So the tide was on its way in when I arrived, and it was 1 hour from being at its highest, right? As you can see, later in the month, the tide, later in March, does actually go higher. But for now, we're going to deal with today. So, we're here, there's the weir, and we're going to look at the river, downstream mostly today, okay? The other things we have in the video today, we buy some flowers for Nicola, we buy some roses and we put them on the bench, and we make the bench look pretty again, alright? Because the police have taken everything off the bench for whatever reason. So I've done a little video, bought some flowers, wrote Nicola a little message, and I've put that on the bench later in the video, okay? We talked to a few more people, alright? And what we also do, we also walk over the bridge and we follow the Inskip 3 mile sign along the secret footpath, right? We follow that on the other side of the river to the abandoned house, and we look at the river where she apparently went in from the other side, which we haven't actually done that yet, to be fair. Now, I can categorically say, well, my opinion, I can categorically say, I do not believe Nicola went in that water prior to the weir. And after you watch today's video, and you see how shallow the river is prior to the weir, okay, and how short the distance is from the bench to the weir, many of you may not be familiar with exactly how short it is, but from the other side of the river, you can actually see pretty much both the bench and the weir. So, I don't think anybody's going to believe she went in the water prior to the weir after watching this video. So, that part of the river is later in the video. Don't skip off. Make sure you tune in for that part.
This river's a lot deeper. It's 20 foot deep there.
It's deep there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't flow very fast, but it is deep. It looks deep.
I've fished it quite a bit.
Have you?
It's
People on the video saying get wellies on and wade in, and it's like it's way too deep.
some other guy was putting, like, you know, you can step off. There's a little row of rocks, but
Yeah, but after that,
the minute after those rocks, it's about 14 foot deep.
yeah.
And there's a lot of snags down there. I've lost many a spinner down there fishing.
Have you?
But the Saturday before she was found, you weren't here then, were you?
I was here Sunday. No, Saturday. No.
The Saturday,
Yeah.
it was about 4.5 foot over the weir with the rain.
Really?
Yeah. That's the only factual thing. When you've done, I thought it was about.
Because I came Sunday and it. No, was it? I think I came Friday and it was higher than normal.
It was. See where that straw is and that ledge there.
Yeah.
It was a good 4.5 foot higher with a hell of a flow to it. All dirty water because
Wow.
what you find if it rains in the hills,
Yeah.
it comes down.
It's a strange river, isn't it? It seems to be right at the bottom of a V shape all the way around.
I do the village gala duck race on it, which is below the weir down to the bridge.
Yep.
And even when it's the middle of summer, you can be just tootling along. You can take one step where it's knee high.
It just drops, yeah.
Over your head, yeah.
So the whole point of the video is to show everybody the river today. It's a very much river orientated video, okay? Now you've seen this part before, but we're just going to quickly show you because we've just spoke to somebody who claims to be 20 foot in the middle, and somebody else later in the video, a fisherman, claims it's 17 foot in the middle. And another person, to be fair, I think claimed it was 18 foot. So we can safely say that past those rocks there, where she went in, according to the police, it does get a lot deeper in the middle. However, we do throw some logs in the water today. We throw some logs in, and I throw a log in pretty much the same size as a human being, and we watch and see what happens to these logs, okay? We do it downstream, and we do it here as well. So that's a little experiment to see what actually happens. As you can see there, we throw a little stick in there. That's not what I'm talking about. We do actually throw in some very large logs, okay? And we time it. We do a little timing experiment down by where she was found to see the medium who found her, psychic who found her, said he saw her a quarter of a mile away and she floated down there. So what we do, we throw a log in a quarter of a mile away and we see how long it takes for the log to find its way to where she was found. And to be honest, the results will shock you. There is no way that he saw that. So you don't want to talk, no?
What hell? Why do you keep coming back? And then you probably
Don't you want answers for Nicola?
We've got to live here.
Don't you want answers for somebody dead?
Don't start that.
No, but don't you want answers?
We've got to live here.
I'm not causing you any harm, I'm by standing here. Hi guys, so we're back at St Michael's this morning. It is 9 AM. We're going to see who we can talk to today. That lady then just now was very hostile, as you've just watched. So what we're going to do, we're going to hang around here a little bit, and we're going to see who wants to talk. We're going to see if the legendary Ron the dog walker turns up. He's due at this time every day, so we'll see. As you can see, there are no flowers left apart from one. A few days ago there was a couple of bunches left. So people here, they don't care. Personally, I don't think they care. Right, we actually go the other side of the weir today. Over there, we go to the other side, and from that side, it's shocking how shallow the river actually is. You can actually see, prior to the weir, how shallow the water is. I wasn't aware of that because from this side, when near the weir, it actually looks, you know, not that shallow, to be fair. But when you're on that bank right up there, the light shines on the water. You can actually see, you know, the base of the river, and yeah, it's very shallow. So stay tuned for when we go over there, and we walk around to the abandoned house from there as well. So now this little gate here, right by St Michael's Bridge, I'm sure you guys have seen it before. I thought we're going to go down there. We're going to walk underneath the bridge, and we're going to see how shallow the water is directly underneath the bridge. And again, I was shocked. It's actually quite shallow, as you'll see when we go down there. yeah, I was quite surprised. So guys, we've made it underneath the bridge. The water's so shallow here. I had no idea how shallow it was. You know, I'm going to leave people to think what they want, but if you look at that water there, it's very shallow. Right now, the tide is 1 hour from being at its maximum. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk, we're going to go downstream, and we're going to try and find where the water is coming back in, because here it's quite clearly unchanged from the tide. It's very shallow, and yeah, the high tide has not affected from the weir to here so far. So we're gonna walk underneath the bridge, and we're gonna see how it is down there. All right. Okay, so we're on this side of the river now. As you can see, St Michael's there. We're going to walk along the river to where she was found, to where Nicola was found. And the whole point of this little walk is to show everybody, this is the tidal part of the river. The tide is pretty much at its highest, or will be in about half an hour. So, to all those saying that the tide will make the river deeper, let's see, shall we? So far, there's no change at all. The river's flowing down. It's shallow in the places that we saw before. Literally no change so far. Hey guys, we're about half a mile from the bridge ish. The river here so far is unchanged again. The flow is still going downstream, still very shallow. So yeah, there's the river there, going around the bend, round to there. So we're going to keep walking and see where the river, if it's deeper, if it's got deeper, or if the flow is going backwards. Yeah, so there's the river there, as you can see. This is actually where the media were on the tragic day. They got kicked back to here with myself, and then they proceeded with the drone obviously after that. So yeah, the river here looks like it's not flowing really, so I'm thinking a little bit further and we're going to encounter the backflow. Very beautiful area, I always say that. Hopefully in a little bit we can speak to some more people and see what they're thinking, get their opinion on the area. So yeah, we shall keep walking to the location on the lane. We're about halfway there now from the bridge. Bridge is over there. So the river here, by the look of it, is still flowing down. Now I definitely saw it flowing backwards that one day. I've got it on video. So as we're 1 hour from the highest tide, I'm expecting soon to see the river flowing the opposite way. So this turnstile here is actually where the media were kicked back to, not the other one. They were kicked back to there. So initially, myself and the media ran over that field there to see what the helicopter was doing. The media managed to get their video and then the police cordoned off this path here, and they pushed the media back to that turnstile behind us with myself. At that point I had actually walked back through the police on the road and came onto the river path and followed the media back to the turnstile as directed by the police. So we're not too far off now. There's the lane there, there's the river, there's the road opposite, which is where the lady in the red car pulled me. So everybody, we're going to keep walking along here. We've just picked up where we left off on the last video, the last clip, sorry. This is essentially the walk from the bridge, which we just walked under, to the location where Nicola was sadly found. We've walked this walk many times on video before, but just showing everybody where we are, how long it is, etc. Now looking over at the river, it's still flowing down and it's still shallow. So clearly the high tide so far has not affected this stretch of river. So to those people asking me to check the high tide and what the river's like, there's your answer so far. Now the day that Nicola was found, I need to check, but certain times of the year you have an extra high tide, and I'm fairly sure for this river it's in March and August. I don't think January had anything particularly that high. Now today is actually higher than it was yesterday, and it will keep on getting higher each high tide for the next week, I think. So it goes from a high tide of like 8 meters up to around 10 meters. So quite a little bit of difference there, 20%. But clearly, for whatever reason, it hasn't affected the river this far yet. Now, where we're coming up to now is the tunnel. We've seen many videos of this tunnel. So we're going to have a little look to see if the river's any higher at the tunnel, just to compare it to the last video. And I'll probably put a clip of the old video in with this video to show people quicker the two differences, if any. Okay, so that gate there is what leads down to the little gully which goes along there. Apologies for being out of breath. Trying to walk and talk means I can't breathe. Right, we're going to go down and look at the tunnel now, okay? Yes, we've seen this before, but we're going to show you with the tide in. Now, keep your eye on that log. That log is going to be important later in the video. Well, quite shortly, actually. That's the first log we throw in the water. That wasn't really the testing log, to be honest with you. But that log becomes quite important with timings. Now, this little tunnel, we've all seen it before. The river, as you can see, is no change, okay? Now, we've thrown that log in at the tunnel, which is approximately 1/4 mile upstream from where she was found, okay? As you can see, everybody, that log there probably weighs about a third of a small person, maybe almost half of a small person. So this is downstream of the weir, okay? The location where Nicola was found is just there. The tide is in at the moment, and it's probably about half an hour to 40 minutes away from being at its maximum, okay? So that's the flow of the river here. Still shallow, still no change in the depth. I mean, I say shallow, it's probably quite deep where we are here, but upstream was still shallow compared to the other day. What we're going to do, we're going to just see if that catches on anything. Now you can never get an experiment the same as the real thing, okay? Obviously a person with clothes on, with water, depending how long they've been in there, may float or not float and flow completely differently, yeah. But just going to see really something similar sized in terms of length, what will happen to it. Now the river today is not flowing backwards here. The other day when the tide came in, this water here was going the other way. So not sure what the difference is really at the moment. Are we going to get stuck on there? Probably not. Oh, yeah, we are. So there we go. That's how easily something can get stuck in this water. I have no doubt that will, at some point, get dislodged and carry on flowing down. But you can see it's not a very strong current. It is consistent. You can see that from here. But it's not rapid. We are at the location where Nicola was found. As you can see, there's a caravan park there. By the look of it, quite a large caravan park. Maybe worth having a look one of these days. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, we're now going to check out the log that we threw in earlier, the small log. There it is, look. Now, so everybody, we just waited around here for about 10 minutes, and that smaller log that we threw in earlier is just making its way round the corner from where we are there. Now that went in, if I remember correctly, where the tunnel was, right? Now the tunnel's about a quarter of a mile from here, ish, approx. That psychic who found her is now stating that she was actually seen a quarter of a mile away and then floated down to where she was found. Now where she was found is there, right? I'm not going to zoom in so people can actually see the distances more accurately, all right? So what he's saying is that the body, while he was waiting for the police to arrive, floated from either up by the tunnel, if it was downstream, or upstream, the opposite way, which is probably somewhere round about where Marsh Farm is. Now, I can't imagine that he was all the way where I was, down by Marsh Farm, because there's not even a path there. It's like the middle of nowhere, right? So I can't imagine that he was up there randomly walking and then followed the body all the way up here. My thoughts are that he was walking along the path that we just walked along, and if what he's saying is actually true and correct and accurate, then the body was where the log went in, that log there, and he's then followed that path, which is pretty much from there along there to where we are. So he's saying he followed that path, and then basically the body has come to rest over there, right? Now, while I'm showing you guys this, to be fair, it's taken quite a long time for that log to move, isn't it? Okay. Bearing in mind the tide is still coming in for another 20 minutes. I've checked on the internet. So the water at the moment really is flowing probably slow. But in all honesty, compared to the other times I've been here, I don't see any difference. The water flow here seems to be pretty much as it always is. slow and steady, right? So your thoughts on that can be whatever they may be. I'm not going to give you my thoughts precisely. I just think that if he did see the body that far away, it matches up with it being around the tunnel area. However, it's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe more, to completely reach where she was found, right? I don't think that time scale matches up, but I'm not saying that he's lying, and I'm not saying that he's not accurate. That may well have happened. The water flow may have been a bit quicker that day, but I'm just showing everybody at the moment that is how long it's taken for that small log to come from the tunnel to not too far away from where she was found. So everybody, before we move on, just going to show people where exactly we are, okay? So that there is the road that she was found on. She was found there. St Michael's and the bridge are 1 mile that way. Over there. The tunnel is approximately there. The main road is there. That forms Garstang Road. That road goes along for about 1 mile and comes to Marsh Farm, which is where the red car lady pulled me. And Marsh Farm is somewhere over there. Probably about 1.5 miles countryside that way. Okay? The fishery that we went to is there. And we have a caravan park, which we've already shown you earlier in this video, which is there. So where we are now, we're back where not back where we started, but we walked past here earlier, if you remember that. There's the river there. So I like to keep people updated as to where we are, because obviously to me it's obvious. I've been here a lot of times now, but a lot of people still asking me on comments on new videos, is that past the weir, is it before the weir, stuff like that. And it is obvious if you watch the videos, but we have to presume that a person watching this video is a new viewer and they haven't seen the previous videos. And according to YouTube details, a lot of viewers are new viewers a lot of the time. They're not always subscribers. So we've already walked through here. The bridge is just over there. And then after the bridge, we've got the weir and the bench. So we've just walked from where she was found. We're walking back along the river path. She was found over there, approximately 1 mile away from here. Okay. And we're walking back now to the bridge, which is there. And then upstream from the bridge, you've also got the weir. And then just a little bit more upstream than the weir, you've got the bench. So that's where we are. There's Garstang Road coming up straight across in front of us, running horizontally. Blackpool Lane, sorry, should I say. Joining Garstang Road, it forms the same road. And by the look of it, it's getting quite busy. So, try and focus a little bit of time now to talking to people. See how we get on. As a lot of viewers are saying, somebody here, if not a few people here, or maybe many people, know something. They definitely know something. And I think what it comes down to, really, is perhaps they all know the bigger picture. They all know that perhaps something was going on, something wasn't right for a long time, stuff's dodgy. Maybe they all know that, and maybe that's all they know. And maybe they obviously know that that's more than likely partly the reason or involved in her disappearance and then death, right? But they don't want to say anything because they can't prove anything. And they're a tight-knit village. Villagers stay together. Loyalty. Yeah? So anybody coming in to investigate, police included, aren't included in that tight-knit community. So perhaps they all know something, but their lips are sealed. And would it really prove who did it? No. But that's why they stay quiet, because they don't want to talk to anybody. And that's been proven by so far our interactions with people here, hasn't it? I mean, that lady yesterday, 2 days ago, sorry, could have been a lot nicer. She could have said, yeah, you know what? Like, I don't agree with all the YouTube videos, but I appreciate what you're doing, trying to get answers. We don't always agree with what the police are saying. So therefore, we do appreciate people like yourself doing this in the right way. But it wasn't none of that, was it? It was, no, don't come here again. We don't want you here. We have to live here, blah, blah, blah. Me walking along this field here is not annoying anybody. Literally, you know, people just need to mind their own business and they wouldn't even know I'm here. So the only time it comes into play really is if I walk up to somebody and I talk to them. But as you saw earlier, it's not difficult to say I don't want to talk and walk off. You don't have to be rude about it like she was, but you can just simply say no thank you and walk away. So right, we're going to go over the bridge and we're going to see who talks. So I travelled to Sainsbury's, about 3 miles away, and I bought some lovely roses for Nicola on the bench. Decided to write this on the bridge as well. You have to excuse my spelling. For some reason I was spelling it with a CH. I did actually come back and redo that with the correct spelling later on, but I didn't take a video of that one. So, but anyway, it's a thought that counts, right? If the spelling's wrong, it's wrong. So what we do, when we went to Sainsbury's, I say when I went to Sainsbury's and bought the flowers, it's right on the River Wyre, 3 miles upstream. So I've took some videos of the River Wyre up there as well, just to show the difference, you know, what it's like up there. It's quite an interesting river, to be fair. There's another weir, very, very large weir, next to a private, very posh looking house. So quickly show you that. That's at the very end of the video. So guys, we are walking back to the bench with the flowers we got a little message as well. And what we're going to do, we're going to relocate this vase on the bench to hopefully keep some of the memory and the beautifulness going on the bench area. We're going to reattach it to the bench. We're going to put some fresh flowers in to hopefully encourage other people to do the same. Hi. Shame, isn't it? All the flowers have gone.
Sorry?
It's a shame all the flowers have gone.
Yeah.
A
Went to.
few days ago.
Away, didn't they?
The police?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, that's what they do. Don't know why, but they.
A few days ago it was covered.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it?
They take them from like crash sites and stuff.
Did they?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
It's a distraction for people coming and taking pictures.
So everybody, we've attached the new flowers to the bench now. I think it's looking a lot better. Apparently the police have been walking around here and they've taken the flowers off the bench, apparently. So we've put some more on there. We've attached the vase. Let's see how long they last. We may be joined by somebody shortly, Marcus, who's in touch with Rochelle, the medium. So we're gonna have a little walk around with him and maybe do some questions with him as well. But yeah. So we are going to walk this secret path towards Inskip. I don't think we're going to go to Inskip just yet, but we're going to walk around just past the abandoned house area. Why not while we're here? So we're by the church, walking towards the weir. The weir is actually just over there. So we're going to have a little look at the river from the other side. Why not? As you can see, everybody, from this side of the river, you can actually see how shallow it is before the weir. Very, very, very shallow there. So, at this point, to be honest, I'm pretty convinced that Nicola did not go in the river prior to the weir. Because that river is so shallow there, even if it was deeper than that, it's still very shallow. I mean, look how wide the river is, right? It's very wide and very shallow. Okay, imagine that being another foot deeper. Let's just say, for example, a whole foot deeper. There's so many rocks and stuff there, look. It's no deeper than a regular stream or a brook there. So, yes, at this point I am convinced that she did not go in the water prior to the weir. Not saying she didn't fall in, not saying she didn't go into the river, but she didn't go in the river before the weir, in my opinion. So we're going to walk along here now, if we can, to where the abandoned house is, and we're going to look at the river from the other side of the bench if we can. So we're not sure where this actually goes to, but all we do know is we're the other side of the river. So let's have a little look how shallow we're looking here. Pretty steep drop down to the water here, but look how shallow that water is, guys. Look how shallow the water is. Oh my God. So my point is, had she gone in round that corner there, yes, it's deep round the corner, but here is shallow. So how did she get past this point and past the weir, one, without being stuck, and two, without being seen? How? Just how? So everybody, if you can see, the weir is just round the corner there. Okay. The caravan park is there. And the bench is somewhere there. So what we do, we're going to go round that corner of the river over to the bench. So guys, we're still on the same path. As you can see here, the water is not flowing at all, really. It's almost flowing backwards here. Okay. Whole lane is just over there. Now this is the abandoned house. Well, so-called abandoned house, right? Coming up. And this is the tight bend in the river. And this is pretty much where it goes from being deep to shallow. So if you went in the river around this corner here, as we showed you earlier with a stick, there was no flow at all, but we'll show you again. But even if she made it round this corner without being seen by the police or anybody, there, where's she going? She isn't going anywhere in my opinion. But we'll see, we'll go around the corner and have a look. So, caravan park there, St Michael's Bridge over there, and the bench is just there, round this corner. Actually quite intriguing being the opposite side of the river here. Completely different outlook on the river, to be honest. We're going to have a little look down here, see what we can find. Now, bearing in mind, when I came to the abandoned house before on video, I actually got the wrong place, I think. So I'm just going to show you guys on the wide lens, okay? The bench is straight ahead there. And the weir is just around that left-hand corner there, right? And the footpath across by the caravan park goes from the bench across that land to the weir, that side, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to walk to the bench now. So we're going to avoid going directly up the abandoned house driveway, simply because it will be trespassing, and even though it's a civil matter, we do not want to be annoying any more people than we already have. We're going to go around the outside if we can. As far as I'm aware, this is a public footpath. So as you can see, the bench is straight ahead and the weir's round the corner there. Very beautiful around here, I must say. As you can see, the bench is over there and the weir is around that corner there, and this is where the river gets a bit deeper here, okay? This area here is the prime area. The police theory that she went in the water here. There's the bench, there's a fisherman. That fisherman was telling me how it's 18 foot deep in the middle. Again, that goes with other people's theory as well around here. The abandoned house is right behind me at the moment, up there. And as you can see, the river from this side doesn't look any real different. But round the corner, like we showed you, the shallow parts are definitely more visible from this side of the river. Yeah. So I just can't imagine somebody going in there. And they're not going to get very far, are they, at the end of the day? I know we've said it many times, but this video, I think, proves it, to be honest. We're never going to be 100% sure, but it does show quite a lot. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk back. We might as well have a look at this abandoned house real quick while we're there. Why not? We know the viewers want to see the abandoned house close up again. Why not? We'll do that. And then we're going to meet Marcus and we're going to go over the turnstile where the apparent dog actually was barking and running between the turnstile and the bench. We're going to do that. just to show people that as well. And then we'll show you the river 3 miles upstream, just to show everybody really what's up there, you know, why not? So the police apparently searched this house 3 times. That begs the question, why would they search it the second and third time? Were they thinking they maybe missed something? Were they incompetent? Were they unsure that the officers involved were at a high enough level to search properly? Did somebody tip them off and say, you need to go back there? Why did they only search the caravan park once? And why did they only search the caravan park after 2.5 to 3 weeks? But yet this place gets searched 3 times. That's a good question in my opinion. Once again, guys, the bench is there. Abandoned house there. Round this bend in the river. River gets shallow there. And then there is the weir. So as you can see, it's really not very far from the bench to the weir. We're talking literally about from there, round to there. Just out of sight the weir is there. So that's the supposed area where Lancashire police say that she's fallen in and she's been in that stretch of water. Now, she would have had to have got past the shallow part there and past the weir. And granted, if the river was slightly deeper, it would have been probably easier for that to happen. However, not that easy, right? So, what do we think? Yeah, we'll go over. Yeah, why not? Oh. Because he said that the dog was running between there and the bench. So if that's true, we'll have a little walk around here. Even though I've already walked it before, we didn't have that information the first time. So you can see how shallow it is, like down there, yeah, but only at the edge.
When you saying about like the dog would run off, that's somebody said that to me, but are they rocks there though?
Yeah. That ain't gonna go nowhere once it levels off. Oh, someone's put a ball in the water there.
There's a green ball up there, did you notice that?
Do you want to go back that way? Yeah? Oh yeah. Cheers. Hi. Have you seen the police around here today? I heard they were still walking around yesterday.
Oh no, I've not seen anybody.
Oh, okay. Strange, isn't it? They're still walking around.
Yeah. Not really thought about it.
And finally, everybody, we have this is 3 miles upstream on the River Wyre, next to Sainsbury's. I just thought I'd show everybody what the river's like upstream. It's very shallow up here, as you can see. It's like a bigger St Michael's kind of village, this little one here. forget the name of it. I think maybe Church Bridge or something along the lines of church something. I think it's Church Bridge. Anyway, I saw this weir and I thought, you know what, that looks really cool. I can imagine in flood, in deep flood, that would be pretty epic, that weir there, because the water's going to literally be coming over it with full force, and it's pretty high. So I wouldn't mind seeing that in flood, to be honest with you. But the rest of it's pretty shallow, and when we check out the water above the weir, it's pretty scary. You'll see why. But I thought we'll have a little walk down to the river's edge here. Beautiful house across the water. Lovely garden backing onto the water there. But I just thought it'd be good to show people different parts of the river, because, you know, now you get a sort of a geographic more sort of view of it. You know, you get to see the shallower part upstream, only 3 miles upstream, and then literally where she went in apparently is real deep and calm. Then you've got a shallow part, then you've got a tidal part which doesn't seem to change with the tide. It's a very, very changeable river, this one. So yeah. Yeah, it's quite a nice area here, but that water right there is pitch black, so I'm thinking this water is pretty deep, probably because the weir is there stopping the flow. It's very calm and very deep by the look of it. It may just be the light, but from here it looks very deep to me. So thanks for watching the video, everybody. I know there was a lot of stuff in this video. I hope you guys haven't skipped any, because there's a lot of important stuff there to see. If anybody has any ideas or places that would need looking at, either up there or elsewhere, please get in touch with me. I've had a lot of tip-offs. I've done a lot of videos on stuff that people have recommended, etc. So that would be a good idea. And yeah, look forward to the next video.